You think Bitcoin and the crypto run is over? This RSI, this momentum oscillator, tells a way different story. Bitcoin on the daily, what a daily candle that is after a really big dip, 15% plus dip to the downside. Bitcoin recovering, crypto recovering. I want to talk about Bitcoin, and this is the Cardano chart. This formation absolutely blowing my mind. We're going to dig into the daily specifically for ADA and what to potentially watch for next with price movement, because it really is kind of getting at a pretty critical area. So please hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump into the video. There are probably some things to watch out for in crypto in general, to be careful for right now. I just want to say that right from the beginning. I'll talk about that. This is the daily, a look at the daily. Before we do, though, I started the video talking about this momentum oscillator, the RSI. We know where I think we are in this bull market. We just broke this lower high Fibonacci area. It's a bull market door area, something that happens every cycle before the parabolic phase of the bull run, altcoin season, all that. We know that that's where I think we are. Now, if we look at the momentum oscillator, and this isn't the first time I've done this, look at where the momentum oscillator is on the monthly comparative to previous bull cycles, right? So here's the last bull cycle. Here's the bull cycle 2017. Here it is in 2013. Look at these. I marked the lines. 2013 got that overbought on the monthly RSI. The green line you can see right there, 2017. The red line, 2021. And you can see Bitcoin just entering the overbought area. Maybe it'll be maybe it'll come in lower than 2021, right? Maybe it'll come in higher. I don't know where the momentum oscillator will end this cycle, but what I do know is it is newly in the overbought territory, and I truly think once again this bull cycle is just getting started. We pivot over, we look at the weekly chart. This is the weekly so far, and I'll make a note. 4 days. Right around 4 days left of this green weekly candle, but so far as it hovers above this Fibonacci bull market door area, we are seeing so many similarities to the last cycle just above the bull market doors then. So many similarities in terms of the consolidation on the shorter term that is taking place, and that leads us to the daily chart. We've had a consolidation. It is so much needed. I'm actually happy that it happened, and it might not be over. I want to say that right off the bat. But I'm so happy that it happened because I've been in crypto long enough to know if you want continued higher highs and you want to start breaking records, you really need higher lows. And higher lows don't come without dips. And we're in a dip now. There's no telling that it's definitely over, but I want to point a couple of things out. On the momentum oscillator on the daily, thankfully, Bitcoin has cooled down, right? You can just see it was overbought, hanging out up here for a while. And then finally, it's cooled down, it's reset. And we really were just considering that move in comparison to all the way back here. We looked at this move on the weekly. Well, here it is on the daily. It is exactly the very similar time frame of the last cycle. Bitcoin just breaking those bull market doors. It was very heated and overbought. And we got the cool down, the consolidation. And you can just see how it interacted with the 20 just above the 50. And if we go back to the Bitcoin chart right now, we're getting the move. We've gotten the move, I should say. Bitcoin has fallen below the 20 and above the 50. Now, I guess the question is it over? There's no telling. I'm very curious. I'm recording this video a little early today. There's still just over 2 hours left of the daily candle. I'm very curious to see how this daily candle closes under the 20-day moving average, right around 67,000 and a little, maybe 67,200. That's the 20-day moving average. If Bitcoin closes below there, it's going to start kind of posing some resistance, right, for Bitcoin. If we can close above, and not only above, but I would really like to see in the next couple hours, if Bitcoin can just continue this power candle, get some separation, that would be incredibly important and a good signal, I would say, for Bitcoin. But even then, not out of the woods. What I'm anticipating personally is a little bit of a grappling, maybe a little bit of a back and forth tug of war with the 20-day moving average, meaning we're falling below. It's not a given that we're just going to pop right back above and stay above the 20 and go higher. This could be the beginning of some type of structure, formation, and there's no telling what that might look like. We might see Bitcoin pop above the 20-day moving average and then actually grapple with it again and fall back below it, right, as the 20-day moving average kind of cools off. And if we actually go, and we can even go back and look at that move in the last cycle when Bitcoin very briefly, right after breaking these bull market doors, very briefly broke below the 20. It popped back up, but it wasn't the end of that grappling with the 20. You can see it fell below again. And it was kind of a little bit of a structure and a little bit of a consolidation phase for Bitcoin. I could see something like that happening now. Obviously, always on the lookout, always pleasantly surprised if Bitcoin just puts in a new high in the short term and there's no kind of consolidation in that way. But that's kind of what I'd be watching for. And that would allow the 50-day to continue its rise, ultimately above the bull market door area, the upper end of the bull market door area. And we'll just see a consolidation phase, maybe some structure. Maybe it would be some type of ascending triangle. Maybe it'll be a symmetrical triangle. I don't know, but that's what I'm watching. What's the next form of structure for Bitcoin? But I will say, I am very happy that Bitcoin cooled down on the RSI here. But on the monthly, once again, just getting started. One last note on the daily chart. As you all know, there's still this $85,000 target to the upside. That is the rising wedge that Bitcoin broke out of in February, the end of February. And really, if you notice, what's really cool about it is even amidst all of the craziness in crypto and in Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin broke to the upside and it hasn't gotten a true throwback to the upper trend line of the pattern, but the throwback is in play. Bitcoin could fall down to this apex area of the rising wedge. 50-day moving average is down there. We could have a very volatile move to the downside into the 50s. It's in play, but just a very nice technical move if it were to happen. Even right now, this is kind of considered, I would say, like a semi-throwback. We didn't touch the trend line, but we've definitely gotten a little bit of consolidation close to the trend line and right in range where we want to see it, but in between the 20 and the 50-day moving average. So that's Bitcoin. What I'm watching for now is structure and also how this candle closes in the next couple of hours. Going over to Cardano, where do I even start? We're going to dig into the Cardano charts, what's actually happening right here when we start zooming in on this move. You all know, and I do the same thing with Bitcoin, and it's been so helpful throughout the cycles. But you all know this move that's occurring right now is incredibly similar to this move back here. The structure of it, the rhythm of it, the timing of it, meaning at this phase, right? Here's the move, the similar structure. At this phase, last cycle right here, Bitcoin was breaking all-time high. It was breaking the bull market doors. And right here at this phase, Bitcoin has broken all-time high. Bitcoin's breaking bull market doors. The indicators and this chart are just so in line. It's incredible. And then when I just start zooming in on the charts, it gets crazy. And this is where, you know, and I want to just present the data for what it is, right? We know what we want to see happen, but there's absolutely no guarantee that it will. We want to see ADA to the upside, right? And just look, ADA made its way down to this lower trend line. This has been something that has been in play. It was at the upper trend line not too long ago. Look at this. Were we not discussing, and I'm pretty sure we were, I should have brought up a little bit of a clip. I'm pretty sure we were looking at the potential for this dip to happen. Not that we want to see it happen, but that it could happen. And we were really utilizing this structured move in the last cycle, and we were comparing it almost down to the exact day. It was this swing high to this swing low. Remember, it's a 30-plus dip to the downside. A lot of people bearish on ADA at the moment, and then we saw what ADA did right after that, right? It bounced to the upside and just took off. That's the thing, though. And it's a little uncomfortable to look at this chart and realize, man, that might not happen again. But that just is what it is. But I like having kind of the game plan and the roadmap of the move on the screen so that I can really just anticipate everything. And I know the areas to watch. And right now, the area to watch is this lower trend line area. And just look at this. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to get the bars pattern. I'm going to just take it. Let's see. Let's just take it from kind of this like move to the upside to that swing high. And let's just get this entire move to really the breakout. We can take the breakout. Let me zoom out. I'm going to take this move all the way over to ADA now. And let me clean some of this up. So as you know, because the cycles, each cycle, things like move less aggressively and slower, and the moves are smaller. I'm going to take this entire bars pattern setup, and I'm just going to shrink it down to the ADA move now. And just look at this, everybody. Are you kidding me? Stop with that. You can't tell me that, and this is a consistency in my over 6 years doing crypto TA, that these types of things happen. You can't tell me that technical analysis doesn't have some type of use, right? The data that's plotted, historical context even. Now, here's the thing though, and this is where technical analysis gets a little bit of, you know, a bad rap. And that is this. A lot of people say there's no guarantee it will repeat. And it's so true. There is no guarantee. But right now, as I plot this data, we have the areas just to watch for, right? To get a sense of, man, it actually is setting up to get a bullish confirmation, or the flip side, a bearish confirmation. ADA, this isn't to say we're going to repeat this move. ADA could very well diverge away and could fall below the slower trend line and just start falling. And then look, the move is not the same. But if that does happen, then we continue to stick with the technicals. And for me, that would be like any other pattern in any other type of market, bear market, bull market, any consolidation, whatever. When we break a trend line, it's always looking for the next support. In this case would be the 20, 45 cents, and then a potential pullback into the pattern itself. And then from there, we could have a bullish setup. This could be a bearish, like a busted bearish move, and ADA just actually continues to upside. We'll track all of those things. But one thing I do know is you put this fractal back on the screen, if I can get to it, and that's incredible to see the consistency of the structure that has formed at the same exact time of the cycle. And I'm just sitting here with all of you. I'm just an ADA holder sitting here doing these charts, trying to best prepare for the next move. And I'm just waiting to see what happens. I can't tell you either way what's going to happen. I just know I'm tracking these charts, and this is the data that I see, and it's absolutely exciting to see what happens. Similar to Bitcoin, ADA, obviously, it's broken the 20-day, it's broken the 50-day, but I'd be really just watching to see how it interacts with those moving averages at this point. Even in the next couple of hours, can ADA close above the 50-day? Can it make a run to the 20? And then if it does, maybe not today, tomorrow, whenever it does, if it does, what happens there? Because that could just be a lower high in the move. We could have consolidation. And at this point, ADA would be diverging as well away from that last move, last cycle. So for ADA, I'm really just watching to see how it interacts between the 20, the 50, and this upper trend line. And this structured move that's happening and playing out, there's probably a lot of other things to track on Cardano right now. And, you know, we can talk about those things. But for me, the biggest thing I'm watching is just currently what I just discussed, what I see on this screen right now. It is so incredibly interesting to me to watch what happens. The RSI, you can see, cooled down. The move is there for ADA to do what it did do last cycle. If we go back, it bounced, right? It bounced after that 30% dip and continued to the upside. You can see all this kind of interaction with these moving averages. There's the 50, there's the 20, and then it bounced to the upside, but a little unknown, right? For quite some time. These are daily candles. A little unknown what was going to happen next, right? A lot of wobbling going on in that chart. So we might not know right away, but that's the exact type of move that I'm watching right now to see what Cardano does and how it interacts. If it does fall to the downside, we'll just keep tracking it. It's not like a game over moment. It's not the most bullish thing, but I will track it if it happens. Otherwise, to the upside, the main target is around 80 to 83 cents, because that's that breakout area. Target to the upside out of this pattern around $1.40 to $1.50. And that's the continued story I'm tracking on Cardano. Let me know your thoughts, everybody. Be careful out there. We're bouncing right now, which is good, but that doesn't mean the consolidation is over. It doesn't mean the resistance is not there right now. And the bears, they're there. They're fighting. So we'll see what happens. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.